study chemistry in Germany. Here are our guests. And this is the organizer of today's session. I hope everybody knows about My German University, which is Germany's largest study program database. If you have not used it, sometimes it happens that people just register for a webinar and you have not used a study finder. So I advise checking it and also checking the profiles of the today's presented programs in case you just joined the webinar and have not seen the profiles. So they are super informative and you can find lots of information in one place. The study finder itself displays all the programs that are offered by German universities in English, in German, in combination of languages. And what I like about it is that you can filter the programs, narrow down your search, and then as a result find most suitable program according to your filters, and also even sorts a program to deadline or some other criteria. We also have articles. Those articles cover different topics. We are adding articles and we are translating so that they are as informative as possible. And of course, the webinars. Now you are joining a subject webinar. The main aim of today's of such kind of subject webinar, including today's, is to connect you with your future program, hopefully. We also have general webinars where we try to cover broader topics like scholarship, uni-assist visa, blocked account, opportunity card, and so on. And those are by My German University only. And we also do a round of 30-minute Q&A, but broader. So even today, if you have like detailed questions about uni-assist or so, I will advise you to join me tomorrow, where there will be a uni-assist dedicated webinar where your question will be answered. And therefore, to use this time to ask program-related questions if you have, and connect with your future program. This is our team. We are based in Hamburg, Germany. We are counseling in different languages. And please don't take this counseling as doing application on your behalf or similar or one-to-one counseling or similar things. We are just providing information, connecting you with the program, and then it's up to you already to prepare a nice application and hopefully start your semester in Germany. Now, I have used a study finder to demonstrate how you can also use it for the subject of chemistry. And if you filter for chemistry and then English only, like in terms of the language, or English and some German in case it's part of curricula, you can see 116-degree programs, 103 masters. So probably all of you who are joining today want to do masters, but I don't think you are checking all 103 masters programs in detail. Therefore, you have those filters to narrow down and maybe see the program that could be suitable for you, or joining this webinar to find out which one of them could be your future destination. We also have new subject pages. They are very interactive. They provide description of the subject, information about tuition, application admission requirements, and also the list of the programs and the universities in this direction, in this subject. So yeah, in case you are interested, feel free to check them out as well. Very, very important, and one of the main takeaways of this session should be that you need to understand and check each program separately and not be guided only by fees or names or city names, because all programs are very different, unique, and it should be one for you. Briefly about the universities in Germany. There are universities and universities of applied sciences. Frequently comes question, if I do a program at the University of Applied Sciences, is it like recognized? Is it as a normal university diploma or so? So the answer is yes. What's the difference? You can also have a look on our article, because we have a whole article about the historic differences and so on. What is important to keep in mind, if you wish, is that usually programs offered by universities are more research and theory-oriented. Universities of applied sciences usually have application practice-oriented programs. But again, check each program individually, because there could be exceptions. What else? Especially relevant for also master's applicants. Again, we frequently get questions, can I apply with this degree, with this ECTS, and so on. So it's always easy to check if you meet the qualification requirements. Once you meet qualification requirements, you can go down and see the application documents and start already collecting. Because if the qualification requirement says that you need to have minimum 180 ECTS, but you do not have that, it is probably less likely that you will go through the stage of checking by the commission or admission committee. But again, it could be possible that there are some ways to provide additional CTS or maybe provide job experience. That's why, again, we host these webinars to know all those details, and if you have such case, to answer your question in this regard. So now I'd like to give the mic to Dr. Ingo May and Isabel to talk about the chemistry program from University of Göttingen.
It's my pleasure to introduce you to the chemistry program at the University of Göttingen and hopefully convince you that our master's program is suited for you and of interest for you. First of all, my name is Ingo May. I was a scientist here at the university. Now I'm working in the dean's office, and I'm here with Isabel, who is the head of the dean's office here in Göttingen. So feel free to ask any questions during the presentation. We do our best to answer it, and also come back to us later. If later on your research you come to any questions, just contact us. Our contact details will be given in the follow-up email. So Göttingen, where is Göttingen? So basically, you know, we are in Germany, and Göttingen is, let's say, competing with some cities around us to be exactly in the middle of Germany. Let's say we are very near to the middle of Germany. And in Göttingen, our university is divided upon the whole city. So Göttingen is really university city and a student city. But the STEM sciences are basically located in the north of Göttingen, and there is something we call the Northern Campus, or Nord Campus in German, where most of the STEM sciences are located. So here you see our chemistry buildings, and like I think every other chemistry chemistry department is organized. We are organized in the triad, which is inorganic chemistry in the middle, physical chemistry on the left, and on the right we have the organic chemistry department, or institute in our cases. But our Institute of Organic Chemistry is also the Institute of Biomolecular Chemistry. You see, we have here also a little change to the typical triad because we have a research focus on biomolecular chemistry. A big advantage for scientists and students also is the Northern Campus, where we are among neighbors and friends, we always say. So we have the MPE for solar system research. They're directly neighbored to us. We have the biology faculty neighbored to us, the physical faculty. You cannot see it in the picture, but a bit to the right, there's the geographical sciences located. There's the MPI for multidisciplinary natural sciences. Now it's experimental sciences, and actually a lot more. And this gives opportunities, for example, in internships or to visit interesting lectures of other faculties during your studies here to get a broader view on all these STEM sciences. And this also helps us in shaping our research, where I will talk about at least briefly in a few seconds. But first of all, some facts and figures about our faculty. So Göttingen has quite a tradition in chemistry. The first laboratory in Göttingen for chemistry was founded 783, which was quite old and located in the middle of the city. You can see it here. But in the 1970s, we moved to the Northern Campus, where we are now. And actually, as you've seen in the photos, it's quite green around us, which is nice because it's easy to go for a relaxing walk. And also right now, since 1970 is quite a few years, that was quite a few years ago, we are now doing a total renovation of our buildings. You can see it in this photo quite nicely, where the old buildings are now besides the new buildings. And it's actually, I'm happy to announce that all our buildings related to students and studies are renovated, so they are now really state-of-the-art labs with lots of opportunities for students. And so we have, I would say, we have the luck that we now have lots of places where students can meet, can exchange, can meet professors or PhD students to discuss topics. And our labs are also now state-of-the-art, really only 2 years in use by now, which gives a quite nice environment for doing science studies. Organized, we are in the typical triad of inorganic, organic, and physical chemistry, but science-wise, our research topics are more organized in questions which involve all of our scientists and also of the neighboring institutes. And our main research foci are functional biomolecular chemistry, sustainable chemistry, and analytical methods for molecular interactions. So these 3 topics, basically, you will also find during all of our curriculum, and during your internships, you will be in contact with these topics, and of course, during your thesis work also. Now I would like to switch to present you a bit more about how our program is structured, because master programs in Germany can differ quite a lot, and I will present you and try to explain you our course of studies and perhaps what might be advantageous for you when planning your studies abroad. So first of all, our full study program would be 30 credits per semester, 30 ECTS credits, which would be a full workload semester. And when you do full workload semester, the program itself takes 2 years or 4 semesters to complete. But we established part-time options. So you can do reduced study amount of credits, 20, 15, or 10 credits per semester, which extends your standard period of study to 6, 7, or 10 semesters. But the thesis semester, our thesis, master thesis, has full 30 credits and would be 1 full semester, needs to be done in a full-time semester. This option might be you want to do your studies a bit slower, or you have to do some care work, or all of that can be you don't need to give us a reason, but it's a nice option if you want to do it a bit slower. Our program is bilingual, so you can complete it fully in English, you can complete it fully in German, and you only need to prove 1 language when you apply for our program. So level C1 or equivalent would suffice to be part of the program. One very special thing, I think, is that we have an elective compulsory program, which means actually no credit is really hardly given. You need to take this course, but rather for every credit, you get to choose some courses. And that means you need to puzzle your study plan, your timetable a bit, which can be time consuming, but there's help. At least there's Isabel and me. You can always come to us and we can discuss your timetable with you and can give advice on which courses might be suited. And later on, I will also present another solution concerning study tracks we established. But first of all, our lectures are generally offered once a year, and that means every 2 years you hear it in German or in English, because every year they switch the language, but the examinations are done bilingual every semester. So if you heard it and, for example, failed, or you say, I will learn it from the book and then take the exam, that will be offered in either German and English every semester. We have lots of internships, and these internships, perhaps you might know it from your bachelor's programs, where internships are normally done in large rooms where all of the students work at the same times. Actually, we nearly have no such internships anymore. All our internships are now research internships, where you join for 6 weeks, roughly 6 to 8 weeks, a research group join a PhD or a master student in his project, and then work on the project and then write a report on it, for example. And this you can schedule quite freely. So you can do this during the times where lectures are not offered, and use the time through the whole year efficiently, and also balance your workload by yourself. Our study is principally divided into 3 areas. That's the professional studies, everything related to your discipline, chemistry. The professionalization area, 12 credits, where key competencies are in, and your master thesis, this is a full semester. So this means 19 credits of lectures and studying, 30 credits of thesis work, which is basically lab work and writing. Coming to the professional studies, we have some areas where you need to choose from a set list of courses. That is, first of all, the method area, where you have 6 credits. And basically, this means it's a lecture plus an internship in diffraction methods or in spectroscopy and magnetism. But you could also do only both lectures in the both areas, or only both internships, which is not so feasible. It would be good to hear the lectures first. In the inorganic chemistry, you can specialize in 2 of the given set of 5 lectures, which reach from bio-inorganic chemistry to solid-state chemistry. You can see we offer quite a broad spectrum of lectures here, and this also is true for the other areas in the organic chemistry, from natural products up to modern mass spectroscopy or heterocyclic chemistry. You can get something which, for sure, 2 of these you need to do, which will suit your likings. In the special physical chemistry, we are very strong in spectroscopy techniques, but they are on a very broad range: vibrational, electronic spectroscopy, biophysical chemistry. Behind that is a lot of atomic force microscopy related things, or dynamics and surfaces. So you can see it's broad range of topics you can choose, and here it's 1 lecture you need to choose from. In the last area, that would be applied chemistry, you can choose from quantum chemistry, biomolecular chemistry, dynamics and simulations, macromolecular chemistry. Again, very broad spectrum. If you've calculated with me, this would be 30 credits up to now, which means 1 semester basically. You have 30 credits of master thesis, which leaves 60 credits open. 48 of these credits are located in an area we call thematic deepening. And basically here you can do not what you want, but nearly what you want. Of course, you can choose from the whole range of lectures we have at the chemistry faculty, but also you would be able to go to the biology department, the physics department, or the surrounding departments, whatever you want, as long as it is within the STEM sciences. We could import the module, and you could take it and therefore specialize yourself in a direction you want to be specialized. So our idea of our masters is to give you a broad spectrum and more opportunities besides that. We could even do modules from other universities. I will talk about that when I talk about exchange programs. So that you get to be the chemist you want to be. And of course, our professors or we in the dean's office can also guide you if you have questions on, I would like to do that, and what should I do? So then we have 12 credits left, which is the professionalization area. Basically here, our intent is to give you another 6 credits, which are even more free. So lots of my students, for example, do Python courses in these areas, MATLAB courses, which with strong connection to data sciences mostly. And we have 6 credits, which are key competencies. You find these at every German university. And normally this should be studies really of your subject. So something like a language course or anything you are interested in, which is not scientific at that point, would be great, just to give you a broader view. And it's always nice to do something besides the typical studies. Because this is now sometimes really a pain to plan, we also establish study tracks according also to our research foci. And these are the tracks: sustainable synthesis and catalysis, modern methods and spectroscopy, theory and simulation, and biomolecular chemistry. And if you choose one of these tracks, actually, we just give you a given set of lectures and lab courses you need to do. And when you finish these, this could also be written on your diploma that you finished the program with the study focus on, for example, catalysis. So in the end, there's always the master thesis. I already said that you need to do it in a full-time semester. The prerequisite to start a master thesis at our university is to have at least 60 credits fully completed. So you don't need to have the 90 credits fully completed. You could also do lectures after finishing your master thesis. We have the possibility that your master thesis can be externally done. So, for example, at an MPI or at a foreign university abroad, that would also be possible. It takes a full of 6 months, and typically within the 6 months, 4 months are laboratory work and 2 months are writing your thesis. There is no central topic assignment. Normally, during our internships, our students come into direct contact with our professors, and then you get an idea on what you would like to do, where you would have fun in researching, and then you ask the professors if they would have a place. And typically, there will be a place and a time slot for your master thesis found, so that our students have no problem in organizing themselves here. And our professors are always happy if you contact them regarding any thesis work, because it's adding to their science. So as you see, as we have these in total 60 credits, 48 plus 12, which are very free to choose, an exchange, for example, in Erasmus or for us at Spromos and Global Exchange Program, are quite easy to do, because you don't need to find modules which in somehow resemble modules we have here. It's the totally different way around. We encourage you to choose universities where modules can be found which we don't have. So our master's program has the aim that you can specialize yourself, and something we don't have is, for example, nanochemistry, but Stockholm has nanochemistry, and therefore within the Erasmus program, you could go there, do courses there. We talk to each other which courses you would like. I guarantee you within the programs that we will accept these courses, and they will count you to your diploma, to your master's degree, and then you have hopefully a good time at studying abroad. You can do up to 60 credits at external institutions. So half of the credits within our master's programs don't need to be done here, which means you could do an exchange for a whole year. And we have quite some, these are some numbers that's from our exchange system, so you can simply access it. The site is Go Abroad. You see it down here. We have quite some partners throughout the world, and alone within Erasmus, we have 27 partner universities partnering directly with us, and that's not even the end when I go to the other programs. So my students are going also to Japan, to Australia, to the United States. There are lots of possibilities here. So I'm sure there will be some questions, and Isabel and I will now take our time and try to answer them. And later on, of course, we can also talk about the questions. If you in any way are now interested in our program, please contact us about our email address, go to our homepage and follow us on Instagram, where we normally regularly also give some information about our study programs and what's going on in the faculty. Thanks a lot for your attention, and Nino.
And let's now move to Osnabrück University. And thank you, Professor Dr. Martin Steinhardt, for joining us today. He will present Nanosciences Master Science Program, Materials, Molecules, and Cells.
Yeah, my name is Martin Steinhardt. I'm presenting the Master Program Nanoscience, Materials, Molecules, and Cells at Osnabrück University. Nanoscience, Materials, Molecules, and Cells at Osnabrück University. It's a master course which lasts 2 years or 4 semesters, which is commonplace, and you would earn a Master of Science degree. What is the background? Osnabrück University has one, let's say, focus research area where we are relatively strong. And this focus research area is rather interdisciplinary. On the one hand, we have molecules and their functions in cells, which is a topic or a problem that is addressed by molecular cell biology. And this functionalities on the molecular scale, of course, interact with cells in the context of organisms. This is the life science part. On the other hand, we have nanomaterials, certain expertise in surface functionalization, supramolecular chemistry, optical and electronic mesoscopic materials. Here is a strong interaction between chemistry and physics. And our endeavor is to bring that together. And this is done in a research center called 𝘗𝘢𝘪𝘥𝘷𝘦𝘳𝘴. 𝘗𝘢𝘪𝘥 means Center for Cellular Nanoanalytics. And the overarching target is the investigation of functional organization of biomolecules at the nanoscale, particularly in cell membranes. We study the composition and the interactions of cell membranes, spatio-temporal organization, morphology, function, regulation, interaction, and we want to quantitatively describe this, and we want to model it. Here, 4 research areas or 4, let's say, pillars of our research come into play: synthesis and biofunctionalization of surfaces at the interface between cells and systems we use to monitor what cells are doing, the visualization and manipulation of that, what happens in cells, qualitative and quantitative analytics, and then image analysis, simulation, and modeling. All these 4 pillars are brought together in the research center 𝘗𝘢𝘪𝘥𝘷𝘦𝘳𝘴, and we have comprehensive laboratory infrastructure such as electron microscopy, also cryo-electron microscopy, very advanced light microscopy. We use methods in the field of linear optics to interrogate cellular interactions. We have a center for mass spectroscopy. So we have, in this specific field, really state-of-the-art instrumentation available. We also got a so-called research training group funded by the German Research Foundation. This research training group is called Nanomaterials and Biomembranes. The objective is to use rationally designed surface architectures for nanoscale interrogation and manipulation of biomolecules at cell membranes, which is one of the current topics we address in our research. And for this purpose, we got 13 PhD positions in biology, chemistry, and physics funded by the German Research Foundation. And the overall funding sum for the duration of this research training group from 2024 to 2028 is 7 million euros. The master course, Nanoscience Materials, Molecules, and Cells, is integrated in this research framework. And because our research is very interdisciplinary, the master program is also interdisciplinary, and it contains components from chemistry, from biology, and from physics, including chemical biology, synthetic biology, biomaterials, materials sciences, nanophotonics, nanoelectronics, biophysics, structural biology, and systems biology. All that is brought together in this master course, and the overarching topic would nanosciences for the study of cellular interactions and cellular processes. For example, you could select chemistry as a focus elective area. You could also select biology or physics, but I took chemistry as an example. Then you would also have the possibility to select courses from biology and physics within an interdisciplinary elective area. This looks like that. In the first 2 semesters, you would go through master modules in the focus elective area, which could be chemistry, life science, or physics. And you would have to earn 30 to 40 credit points. At the same time, you would also go through courses in the interdisciplinary elective area. Here you could earn 20 to 30 credit points. In this interdisciplinary elective area, you would find modules from subjects not selected as focus subject. This is the course part of our master study program in the first 2 semesters in the first year. The second year is completely dedicated to research. In the 3rd semester, one would visit, the students are encouraged to visit scientific lecture series to get into contact with state-of-the-art research. And the 3rd semester comprises 2 practical lab courses where students are directly involved in research projects. One research specialization and one research course. These 2 courses can be done in one and the same research group or in different research group. That's flexible. And eventually in the 4th semester, the master thesis would take place, and the master thesis would, as in Göttingen, also cover a complete semester. To get admission, some prerequisites have to be met. First of all, you would need a bachelor's degree in life sciences, chemistry, physics, material sciences, or an equivalent degree program. And at least 80 credit points need to be earned in the chosen focus, life sciences or biology, chemistry, or physics. And 30 credit points need to be earned in the other 2 disciplines, in the disciplines which are not the selected focus. Then we highly appreciate it if students had done an experimental bachelor thesis or a comparable study-related practical training. And students need to have sufficient English knowledge. We would expect English knowledge equivalent to the B2 level within the European Framework Program. It's not necessary to speak German. The entire program is in English. Should you decide to come to us, where would you land? We are in Osnabrück. Göttingen would approximately here, if you see my mouse pointer, and we are in the same state, in Lower Saxony, halfway between Amsterdam and Berlin. Yeah, that's it. Thank you very much for your attention. If you want to get some more information, you can get it on the web. Here is a QR code, or you can address questions to this email address, nanoscience@usd.de. But you will also be able to get this presentation as a PDF file so that you can go through it separately after this workshop. Thank you very much.
And we can start this Q&A round. We have lots of time for that. So first, let's take a general question, which is about both of you mentioned lab experience to be part of research and so on. And the question was, do I get hands-on lab experience early in my studies, or is it closer to thesis time? Let's listen to Dr. May and then Professor Steinhardt.
Yeah, the beauty of our program is that it's your decision when you do your lab work. You can come to Göttingen and start directly in the lab. That's no problem. You go to a professor and tell them, I would like to do an internship, and you will start. But you could also do really amount of minimal lab work, for example, if you want to do theoretical chemistry. So the idea of our program is that you do your timetable by yourself because you choose the courses you want to at the time you want them to do, where we can support you. So you're not alone in the whole thing. But basically, for us, it's your decision, but I can assure there are lots of opportunities to do lab work. We have at least 9 modules covering lab work during your studies.
Thank you. Professor Steinhardt?
Yeah, in our study program, the first year is a year where courses have to be where we focus on modules which are organized as courses, but these modules also include lab work or practical training, because in the course of the first year, students acquire some techniques, some skills. They need to work independently in the lab. However, in the second year, in principle, they are completely free to work in the lab. There are no more written examinations and other examinations that would distract people from doing research in the lab.
Thank you. Thank you to both of you. The second question is about the study abroad. Why is it encouraged to do study abroad? Doesn't it mix up the whole study chain? Dr. May, you wanted to address it live.
Yeah, actually, adding to what I said earlier, since you do your own timetable, there is nothing like a fixed study chain. When you start, you finished your bachelor's. So basically you have the basic chemistry knowledge to now get specialized. And when specializing, you don't need to stack up always because we are in chemistry. So you can do it besides typically in order which suits you. And therefore, it's quite easy to incorporate. Of course, there are some courses which might be good to hear before others, but that is really not so much happening. And what we don't have in the master's program is that one course needs to be heard to visit another course. So the courses can be heard in every order you want them to hear. We give suggestions for some courses, what your prior knowledge should be. But mostly the lectures stand for themselves and are enclosed in itself in the topic. So you don't need to follow a clear study chain. It's rather about choosing your study chain with us.
Just to follow up, in case somebody then decides to still go for an abroad semester, you mentioned students in US and other countries. Do you recognize an ECTS in case it's you can find the similar courses
so they don't need to find similar courses. We actually would like that they study courses which don't happen at us. If you go to a country where no ECTS credits are done, we can recalculate to ECTS credits, and for most of our partner universities, we have already done that. And when we didn't do it up to now, at least some surrounding faculty will have done it. Getting your credits registered to your diploma is really no problem when studying abroad. That's really standard.
Thank you. Professor Steinhardt, same question for you.
Well, in our case, students are, of course, very much encouraged to spend some time abroad, and we would devise an individual study plan that accommodates the stay abroad at another university. I think we keep that very flexible, and we will try to arrange everything in such a way that the stay abroad can be incorporated in the study program in Osnabrück as smoothly as possible. And typically we are very flexible here, so we replace our courses or study components by those at the other universities. So far, I think that worked very smoothly.
Thank you. By the way, I also posted in chat scholarship from 𝘗𝘪𝘵 for STEM programs. And in case you also want to apply, feel free to check that as well. The point about language certificate, Professor Steinhardt already answered. Isabel or Dr. May, do you want to take this one? Can I provide the language certificate a bit later?
Isabel, would you like to take the question?
I can do. So at the moment, it's possible to hand it in a little later, but we just changed the regulations for our admission. So with the upcoming semester applications, it's necessary to hand in the certificate with your documents you hand in with the application. So regularly it's 15th of January for summer semester and 15th of July for winter semester. So it's not to be too bad to you, but we don't want the situation for you to come here, start your studies, and there's then any problem with your language certificate and you can't continue your studies here. So it's easier for you to have everything ready and concentrate really on your start here in Göttingen. So it's really recommended to have the certificate before you really apply here. But just have a look at the details for our admission. It's not always necessary to have a certificate. So if you studied your program, your bachelor's program in English, or if your mother's tongue is English, this would be sufficient as well. So just have a look at the details, and if you're unsure, we can really have a look on your application documents as well, of course.
Thank you. Another question, is it a must to have a bachelor thesis for the admission? Let's start with Professor Steinhardt.
It's highly recommended because we need students need to have some practical skills and experiences when they studying in our master program. This is one of the prerequisites we also look at, so it's at least very advantageous to have a practical to have gone through a practical bachelor thesis or equivalent practical experience. And this is definitely very helpful. I guess the colleagues in Göttingen will see that similarly. Maybe there are two more unanswered questions. Should we go through them then later on, or how do you proceed?
Of course,
here?
we still have, I think, 10 minutes if there are more questions. Yeah. Dr. May, I see you are also agreeing to what was said.
Yeah.
In case you want to mention anything.
Yeah, we totally agree with Osnabrück here, of course. It's not a must in case of if your program doesn't have a bachelor thesis. This doesn't exclude you from the process, but it would be really beneficial to have a laboratory work experience.
Another question that I accidentally mentioned as done was about is it allowed to work during the studies to collect practical knowledge? Like legally, you as you will come with a student visa, you can work part-time during the semester or full-time during the semester breaks. But let's hear from program representative if it's encouraged or if the workload will allow. So, Professor Steinhardt.
Well, we understand that students frequently need to work to cover the life expenses. So if it is necessary, we have to live with that. Personally, I try to consider that when students work in my group, because I understand that sometimes there are boundary conditions which we need to somehow accommodate. I would like to mention that students frequently have the possibility to work at the university as student assistants to get contracts here. This is the best way because you make money at the university in a field or with tasks close to the topic of your studies. That would be the best choice.
Thank you. Dr. May.
Yeah, totally agree. That's since we are quite a large university, students have lots of possibilities to work at the university, which makes combination of work and studying much easier. You can work besides the workload is quite high in the full-time studies. So we also suggest to do it at the university because it's easier to combine and beneficial. If you do teaching is learning twice.
Thank you. 2 questions from Simon. I studied Bachelor of Science in Chemistry Education. I studied educational courses in addition to the chemistry courses, and I would like to pursue Masters in Analytical Chemistry. Will I be considered? I think the question was to Göttingen, because the next question is, do Göttingen accept English proficiency letters from previous universities? Does Göttingen accept? Yeah.
Yeah, a Bachelor of Science in Chemistry Education. In an answer prior to that, I already answered how much credits you need. If you're not from an ECTS country, your credits and work hours will be recalculated. But basically, you need to show that you have studied physical chemistry, inorganic chemistry, and organic chemistry with at least 6 credits per area, which makes 80 credits in total in these areas. But the total chemistry credits of your studies must be 63 ECTS equivalent credits and 126 credits, including all the chemistry credits, must be from STEM science, so physics, mathematics, and stuff. In total, you need at least 150 credits to apply and a bachelor equivalent. And the last question is, it's a bit hard to answer. If your university your prior university did language tests and you can prove that your English is at level 1 C1 certificate. I think we would accept that if it's really equivalent for language tests, but only for university transfers. In Germany, we have these that you can get a language test, but you can only use it to do a stay abroad or something like that. This we would accept. Or if your prior university simply tells us your whole study program was in English, this would also suffice.
And maybe the last question for today was about the admission. I know Isabel already answered that admission or application is fully in English, fully online. Sorry, the deadlines were mentioned, and the question was if there are any additional admission tests or so for internationals. For Osnabrück, I know it's for internationals that have from outside of Germany need to do Nanosciences. And Professor, do you have additional tests or assessments, interview with applicants, or it's only the online application?
Currently, only the online application.
And Dr. May, I know you already answered about this test exam that it's checking the knowledge of basic chemistry. Maybe you want to add anything about that?
Yeah, so if your studies involved chemistry, the assessment won't be a big hurdle. So you don't need to learn to it. If you really studied, you will be able to pass it simply by having studied chemistry. So it's just a test to be assured that you studied chemistry. Normally that's not the big barrier for our students. So don't be afraid of it.
Good. Thanks so much.